Welcome! So today, we're going to build a really powerful playbook specifically for project managers who are leading global teams. We're going to master the key English phrases for every single Scrum meeting, so you can walk in and lead with absolute confidence and clarity. I get it. Leading a big, high-stakes meeting in a second language, it can be pretty intense, right? The pressure to be clear, to keep everything on track, it's very real. But what if you had the exact words you needed right at your fingertips? Well, that's the playbook we're going to build together today. Okay, let's just dive right in. We have put together the essential playbook for you. Think of this as a practical guide, just packed with the key phrases you'll need for every single meeting in the Scrum framework. It's basically your new cheat sheet to confidence. First up, planning the sprint. This is where it all begins. A great sprint is built on a solid foundation of super clear expectations and a really well-defined scope of work. If you can get this part right, trust me, everything else just falls into place so much more easily. But hang on, before you can even plan with the team, you got to talk to your stakeholders. That's what the discovery session is for. This is where you dig in and find the real why behind the project. It's all about understanding the business need before anyone writes a single line of code. In these conversations, you're going to be using words just like these. You'll be trying to identify a stakeholder's pain point, make sure you have alignment on the goals, and really define that value proposition. This is the language that builds a bridge between the business side and the tech side. This question right here, it seems so simple, but it is incredibly powerful. It's not really just a question, it's more of an invitation. It opens the door for your stakeholders to tell you what the real problem is, which, as you know, is always the starting point for a truly valuable solution. Now, this is a perfect example of how you can take a kind of vague goal and turn it into something concrete, something measurable. You listen, you translate it into a specific metric like reducing churn by 10%, and then, and this is the most important part, you confirm it. This makes sure everybody is on the same page from day one. Okay, so you've got the why from the discovery session all locked in. Now it's time to define the what and the how with your team. And that brings us to sprint planning. This is the meeting where the team actually commits to the work. So this meeting, it's got its own special language. You're going to be talking about the team's capacity, doing estimation on tasks, agreeing on acceptance criteria, and then ultimately making a commitment to a very specific scope of work for that sprint. See, the PM's job here is to guide the conversation, not to dictate it. You're using data to start things off. A phrase like, given our current velocity, bases the proposal on actual past performance. And then asking, do we all agree? That opens the floor for that crucial input from the team. And this is exactly why it has to be a team discussion. The developers, they're the experts on the how, and their feedback is just absolutely critical. This kind of open, honest conversation is what stops you from overcommitting and turns a good plan into a great and, most importantly, an achievable one. All right, planning is done. Now it's time to execute. The daily stand-up is like the energetic heartbeat of the sprint. It's just a quick daily sync to make sure we're all aligned and to clear out any roadblocks right away. The name of the game here is speed and clarity. We're talking about blockers, giving quick updates and tracking progress towards our deliverables. No long stories, no deep dives, just the essential facts to keep that momentum going strong. And here it is, the simple, super effective formula for the perfect update. Yesterday, today, blockers. Sticking to this structure is what keeps the meeting focused, productive, and, as it should be, under 15 minutes. Okay, so the sprint is complete. Now it's time to show off our work and, of course, learn from the experience. This all happens in two really important meetings, the sprint review and the retrospective. The sprint review, it's so much more than just a demo. It's a conversation about the value the team just delivered. This is your chance to show stakeholders real, tangible progress and get their feedback on actual working software. And the real key to a great review is to talk about the impact. Don't just list what you built, explain what it does. A phrase like this connects your team's hard work directly to a measurable improvement, and that is exactly what your stakeholders want to hear. A simple visual like this can be way more powerful than 1,000 words. It shows a really clear before and after, and it makes that performance gain, from 5 seconds down to 2, instantly obvious to absolutely everyone in the room. Okay, so after we've shown off our work, it's time to look inward. The retrospective is for the team and only by the team.
The goal is simple, but it's so powerful. Continuous improvement. What can we do even better next time around?
The goal here has to be constructive. It's not about assigning blame or pointing fingers. It's about finding those little bottlenecks in the process. A specific, actionable suggestion like this one leads directly to a smoother, more efficient workflow in the very next sprint.
Finally, let's talk about the language that really ties all of this together. These are the kinds of key phrases and idioms that build bridges between all the different roles on your team, making sure your collaboration is always smooth and effective.
A huge skill to have is adopting your language to your audience. You'll talk about an MVP with developers, consistency with designers, edge cases with QA, and your rationale with stakeholders. Speaking their language, well, that's how you build trust and get everyone aligned faster.
And finally, let's just demystify some of that common corporate slang. Let's touch base. That just means let's catch up. Let's take this offline is a really useful way to say, hey, let's discuss this later with only the people who need to be there. Understanding these helps you follow the flow and use them with confidence yourself.
So there you have it. We've covered the entire sprint cycle, and we've built a full playbook. Now, the only thing left to do is to actually put it into practice. So my question for you is this. Which one of these phrases are you going to use in your very next meeting?